Hi, I'm Frances Fuller, and I'm here to talk to you today about the injury that I sustained on June the 21st, 2011. An injury that could have totally left me helpless because I fractured my second lumbar vertebra in two places with 30% compression. It was not an injury where I fell, but rather one that I was having great fun bouncing on the trampoline at age 68. I hit poorly when I did a seat drop, and it threw me forward. I heard the crack as both sides of my second lumbar vertebra were fractured. And unfortunately, when you're on a trampoline, you can't stop bouncing. When I was finally able to stop bouncing, I laid over on the trampoline on my back, and a hush came over the crowd that had gathered. All I could think was, I need lavender and the raindrop oil. I had everything I needed, including Gary, immediately. Right after the injury, lavender was applied because the lavender not only relaxed me, it stops any bleeding, both external and internal, preventing bruising, and also eliminating a lot of inflammation that is often present with any type of injury. For a spinal injury, this would be extremely important because if there is swelling, there can be spinal cord damage. I was then given the raindrop oils, all right, on the injury. Just dripped on my spine and feathered. No great application, certainly no massage. And as soon as Gary came in, he realized that I needed to go to the hospital to be x-rayed. Dr. Leda and my daughter, who's a registered nurse, were in the ambulance with me. And when we arrived, Dr. Leda had found a doctor who agreed not to give me any medication. I was x-rayed, then a CAT scan, and then an MRI, all of which confirmed the fact that I had fractured my spine. So I was in the hospital actually for 1 week flat on my back, but I had nothing for pain ever and nothing for healing other than the Young Living essential oils and supplements. Twice a day, each day, morning and evening, my daughters applied the raindrop oils, the single oils of raindrop collection. One by one, neither one of them had ever had raindrop training. They just dripped them on my spine. And about every hour, I had what I call my magic oils for pain. This consists of Believe Blend, Copaiba, Panaway, and Deep Relief. Amazingly, I won't say it was not difficult, that it was painless, but it was not excruciating. I certainly was able to bear it. The doctors, all 7 of the orthopedic surgeons at the hospital, agreed that I needed to have immediate surgery and body cast for 3 months. Dr. Carlos, who was in charge of my case, felt that maybe I could have only a body cast for 3 months and then would probably require surgery after that. Gary Young came in and told me what he had done, that he had amazingly fractured the same vertebra in 2 places. Of course, his compression was at 50% instead of 30%, which is what mine was. But he did not have surgery, and I know that he is extremely active. So as far as I was concerned, if he was willing to oversee my my treatment protocol, I was willing to do whatever he said. So the first thing he said was, "We need to get you out of this bed." And after I moved to the clinic, which that was on July the 1st, I then received sacred frankincense IVs every single day. They injected the sacred frankincense directly into my bones. The healing was amazing as soon as that frankincense got into the bones. It was painful, felt like I had been kicked, as I told Gary, kicked by a cat. But within 10 or 15 minutes, I was able to walk back to my room by myself, unassisted. And within 24 hours, I was beginning to walk around the pool. And I walked laps and laps every day, forward and backward. Gary had told us years ago that he had learned from Dr. Chow in Beijing that walking backwards will decompress the spine, and it is very, very healthy for anyone, particularly someone who has spinal injury. While I was at the clinic, I was able to get regular raindrop treatments and colonics daily, and my daughter still would apply the raindrop oils at night, even though I had a regular raindrop treatment during the day with very, very light massage. And I still used, by this time I was able to move around more myself, so I was able to apply my magic oils for pain, Believe, Copaiba, Panaway, and Deep Relief, as often as I chose to apply them, which became less and less. By the time 3 weeks after the injury had occurred, that was only 2 weeks in the clinic, I was ready to come back to Singapore. Unfortunately, I couldn't get my flights for 1 more week, so 4 weeks to the day after the injury, I flew 38 hours back to Singapore from Ecuador and have never looked back. Now I have reached the point where I have no restrictions whatever. Actually, within 4 months, there was absolutely no pain, no restriction on my activities. I don't even think about putting oils on my back. Now, I did have a little extra help because my daughter, who is the nurse, is also a yoga instructor. She worked with me on doing some specific yoga stretches to rehab my back. Now I truly have no restrictions, no pain, and I am free to do whatever I choose.